Welcome to Behind the Smoke, Barbecue War Stories. My name is Shawn Walchef with Cali Comfort Barbecue. We are recording above the butcher shop in Spring Valley. We're missing my man Derek Marceau from Valley Farm Market. He is attending a funeral today for Beto. Beto was almost like a grandfather to him. Somebody very special. I met him a couple times at some of their parties. He had 2 Purple Hearts, kind of raised Derek. So shout out to Derek, who's out there with the family event. He lived an incredible life, Beto. And we're back here today, weekly podcast every single Friday. We come out with a new episode, publish it on YouTube and all the podcast platforms. For those of you that have been listening, we appreciate it. If you're new to Behind the Smoke, our job is to go behind the scenes and teach you some of the shit that they don't talk about in business school. As entrepreneurs, as business people, we've learned a lot in our journey. And one of the coolest things for us about this podcast is every week we get to learn more from the people that we bring on, the heroes and heroines who are out there just doing really cool shit in San Diego and elsewhere. Today is very cool because Al Calozzi,
you got
we
it right.
met. We actually went, Derek, myself, and Chris Roberts, our attorney. We went about 2 months ago. We were looking for a place when we were working on the La Jolla project, somewhere close to La Jolla, on our way back to Spring Valley. And we checked out Yelp and heard a lot about this cheesesteak spot. And we went, and fuck, it was absolutely incredible. You blew us away with your hospitality. You were running the shop by yourself. The bread was incredible. The cheesesteak was incredible. And like I said, your hospitality was incredible as well. So welcome to Behind the Smoke.
Well, thanks for having me. Very small world, too.
It
we
is.
got the email, and
it is
then
a very
we started
small world.
communicating, and you happen to be in. We got a mutual friend or friends.
We do have mutual friends. Brad Bohensky, who's actually been on the podcast.
Yep.
He runs Yelp Elite San Diego. Corey reached out to him to see if there was any good guests he thought could be on, and he sent us a couple. Chad Klein, who we just had on, and then sent you our way. And I hear you play tennis with our friend Larry Calder.
Yep, Larry, New York guy. I play every Thursday in this men's ladder league, and me and Larry hit it off. And Larry's a foodie.
Yes, Larry is a
big
foodie.
time foodie.
Big time.
Very passionate about it. And yeah, we built a friendship, and I invited Larry, and he wanted to bring a couple of his friends by my shop for cheesesteaks after tennis. And Brad was with him, another friend of ours, Henry, and that was it. Now here we are.
Now here you are above the butcher shop. I mean, yeah,
Crazy.
That's
thanks to Brad too. I
absolutely.
want to thank Brad.
Thanks to Brad
and Larry
and to Larry for sure, because
Absolutely.
It's crazy the world that we live in. I mean, we were just talking before the podcast started. Before you would be in the village or you'd be at your city or your town and you'd have a conversation and it would all be personal one-on-one. But
Right.
now, because of the internet,
Yep.
these internet oh shit moments can come from anywhere. And you
It's
don't
amazing.
realize how small the world is.
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, I was literally looking at your Instagram feed and saw Brad and Larry. And I'm like, holy shit, I know those fucking guys.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are my guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there you are, and here you are.
We're all connected.
To share your story.
Yep.
So let's get into it. Tell us how did you start? When did you start cooking?
So I started cooking as a little boy. My grandparents had a restaurant back in Philadelphia at a very young age. I joke around, but against every child labor law.
Well,
but back in those days,
I mean,
I'm 45.
Well, you're a young man, 45. But I mean, my grandfather's from Bulgaria, and for him, there are no child labor laws in the village you work.
Yeah, well,
that's part of the deal. It's not about when you're in family business.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter. You don't need
Absolutely.
to be 16.
Absolutely,
you fucking work.
Even during school, you do your homework, you get right into the shop. So, but I started at a very young age.
So what? Well, how old?
I was
were you?
about 10 years old. I mean,
Okay.
earlier than that, you float around. But the one when I cooked my first cheesesteak, and it's still vivid in my mind. It was the summer of 1984. I was at the restaurant. I was painting a fence,
Okay.
and it was very hot. I finished up. There was an empty Pepsi machine in the corner in the kitchen. It was on. I got in it, cooling off, and my Uncle Anthony looks over, sees me, comes and gets it. He goes, "Hey, come here. I want to show you something." He puts a milk crate down in front of the grill and shows me how to make my first, and I still do the same technique. Shout out to my Uncle Anthony too. I always give him props.
Yeah.
You know, I've made tens of thousands and thousands and thousands of cheesesteaks. I still do it the way he taught me. Obviously, you know, the techniques, I'm better and stronger, but that was a moment there. If someone took a picture back then, right, and now full circle,
Yeah.
I'm cooking cheesesteaks. Because all through my life, I thought, man, the restaurant business, we know this. It's tough. It's brutal.
Absolutely.
It's a grinder. Yeah, it's a grinder, right?
For sure.
And I just never thought that I would end up, you know, getting into it. I would do something else. So
was there ever a point did you start working like for summers in the family business?
Oh, my whole life. I moved from so as I got older, I went from the grill side. We had a saute side, but I always liked the grill side. I felt like even though the saute side, the line is busy, I like the action on the grill side. The sandwiches. I love making cheesesteak. I just always just something about it, you know. I love it. I love it.
So when you were in high school, you were still working for the family business.
There was a moment where you'd have little breaks. One of the worst jobs I ever had, I worked in a meat store. But you were in this freezer and people would come in. I worked at around the chicken. There was wings and thighs, and I worked there for about 2 weeks, standing in a freezer. Customers would come in. I want a dozen wings. I want and I went back to the kid. Like it's just something about the heat and the cuts and
action.
The action. Like I didn't want to be cold. I hate being cold.
Yeah.
You know. And
is that why you left Philadelphia?
No, actually. So what got me? So I moved out to Seattle back in 2006. I met a girl from Seattle down Wildwood, New Jersey.
Okay.
So that's how we corresponded. I ended up going for it. I went out.
So you jump off the cliff for the girl and move all the way to the West
don't
Coast?
we all? Don't
Yeah,
we all? And, you chase the girl. So that's what happened. I chased the girl.
I chased my wife halfway around the world to go get her from Bulgaria. So
well, it's funny how. So I'm married now. And we'll get to that. That's a very unique story. But so the girl that I met back home, I go out to Seattle anyway. I get settled in. I get a job at Whole Foods. I'm on the production team. Making the food for the hot bar. So we go out to this nightclub area in Seattle. It's called Belltown. It's a section in Seattle, and it was bombed. There was, people all over the place. Coming out, and and there was these hot dog carts, and the lines were just ridiculous. And it was just kind of mind boggling because, back home you go to state, you go get cheesesteak.
Sure.
Diners too, but.
So wait, before we go any further, which is the place are we supposed to go? If you go to Philly, where do you go?
So
this is the debate, right?
Well, it's not the tour. Pat's and Gino's are tourist attractions. Okay. Now, shout out to Pat's. Pat started this whole thing, and I was on a podcast last week, and I got to talk about the history. Pat started in 1930. He was a hot dog cart.
Okay.
He happened to have a steak sandwich with him for his lunch. So the story goes. And he heated it up, and the smell, the aroma, this cab driver he didn't want the hot dog, he wanted the steak sandwich. Pat gave it to him. The cab driver comes back the following night. He doesn't want the hot dog, he wants that steak sandwich. That's 1930.
Yeah.
So he's a Henry Ford of cheesesteaks. Pat Oliveri is a Henry Ford of cheesesteaks. And I got to meet his grandson, David Oliveri, cool. Who came in to my shop. He heard about us through a regular. Came in. There's pictures of us on Instagram.
Oh, rad.
David Oliveri, really nice guy. Shout out to David. I was kind of like geeking out a little bit because the grandson.
Absolutely, for sure.
So if you look at the history, and then cheese. One of Pat's workers, once he had his first location, put provolone cheese on a sandwich. So then that's how cheese got on a steak sandwich. Then Gino's opens up. He's got to be different than the guy across the street from him. He puts Cheese Whiz.
Yeah.
So you got to give them their props. Now, like anything, technology, through time, things get better, right?
Yeah.
People
absolutely.
advance. They put their little twists on it. Well, that's what happened with the steak sandwich. People put their own little twist on it, and it's gotten better. So there's places, locals, we don't go there again unless you're out one night and you know,
unless you have someone visiting and they want to go.
They want to go. Of course, you have to go. You got to show them.
Going to a museum.
But like John's roast pork is one of the best. Even though it's John's roast, he's got a great roast pork sandwich and a steak sandwich. You got Jim's, you got Campo's. I mean, there even pizza joints back home.
Yeah,
there's a saturation of steak sandwiches, right? But Pat Oliveri is the guy. He's the one. So you gotta give him his respect.
Okay, fair enough. So you make it to Seattle. You see the club. You see the hot dog cart.
I'm like, this is crazy.
This is your aha moment.
Boom.
You're like, I can't be at Whole Foods anymore. I gotta fucking. I gotta do it myself.
I'm gonna rock and roll. But the thing was, you know, I'm not a. I didn't have any money. I don't have rich parents. Or, you know, I was out there doing it. You know,
chasing a girl,
doing it on my own. So I basically put a plan together, and just went at it guerrilla style. You know, I was doing events. I had catering permit. I was able to do some events, but
why were you doing events?
Well, because Seattle in those days, the food cart laws, they only let you do hot dogs because of the nitrate. Which, listen, you can get sick off of a hot dog. You don't store it right.
Absolutely.
Cheese, right? I mean, it's food.
Food handler.
My argument to them was, well, you let me do a festival. Why can't I that same day? Can't I go on First and Blanchard, which is a street in Belltown? Well, you just can't do it. That was their argument. so I was at a gym one day, and this old guy Michael, who New York guy, I'm sitting. I'm like, Michael, I don't know what's. This was a kind of a downer moment. They're not going to let me do it. I don't. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Kind of like just.
So you had built up your dream, you had built up your plan. You're like, I'm gonna fucking do this,
right? But then
the roadblock comes.
The roadblock, and I'm bitching about it more or less. And this guy Michael kicked me in the ass. He goes, you know what, Al? I'm sick of hearing you talk about it. Just go ahead and do it. You're always talking about it. Just do it. Like he got
jump
on
off
me.
The fucking cliff.
Exactly. That was it. So I said, all right. I got a grill that I was renting from this company, a little propane grill. I don't even know, maybe 3 feet. Maybe, right? And
you were renting it?
I was renting it.
Holy shit.
I was renting it.
Wow.
I would drop it off
day by day.
Well, so I worked Monday to Thursday at Whole Foods, and then I had Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday off.
All the clubbing nights.
All the clubbing, and then I'd have to go into work on Sunday morning,
Absolutely.
which was like
hell.
Brutal. But so I go down to Belltown. I load up my van and I go down. Actually had a friend's sister was going to come and help me. So I look at the spots where I'm going to go. And there was an Army-Navy shop kind of off the beaten path. I park myself. Okay, this is where it's going to happen. I park my van. The girl that was coming to help me was running late. So I'm getting nervous. I'm pacing back and forth. I walk past, and you could see on the video that Yelp did, we go to the spot. I walk past the first hot dog cart, and there's this little spot right in front of this apartment door, and there's a parking lot separating us. I said, here, this is the one that's going to be closed. The clubs are here because where I was going to be was down the street.
Yeah.
This is the action. I go run, get my van, zip, boom. That was it. I haven't stopped since.
Really?
That was it.
So there was no permit?
No permit.
Fuck the permit.
No permit. I had my kid. So the hot dog guys, the look on his face, the one manager.
I don't ask for permission. I ask for forgiveness.
Listen, it wasn't like I was selling drugs or doing something. What are they going to do to me? What could they possibly do to me?
First of all, they're not working at that time, so there's no enforcement happening at that time.
But it started to.
Oh, really?
Because this is why. So the look on the hot dog cart, that makes sense. The guy comes because you hear the noise.
Wasn't happy with you.
Comes walking by and just looking like, what's this? Is because the guy that was down there, I'm not gonna say his name, but he was there for 10 years. Real jerk too. I run into him. I run into him later on in life, and I'll tell you why he was a jerk. You know, just a greedy, selfish guy.
Transactional based, not hospitality.
He's selling hot dogs.
Absolutely.
See, if I was selling a $2 hot dog and you're selling a $3 hot dog, now I'm being a jerk.
Absolutely.
I'm right next to you.
100%.
In those days, my steak sandwiches were $8.
Yeah.
He was selling a $5 hot dog.
Yeah.
Different.
Totally different.
Barbecue,
Different
pizza, different. I have every right to set up next to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
If we're the same, then there's some issues there. You know,
for us, we don't even think.
And I don't care either. I have this
barbecue. We sell barbecue.
I'm the same way. So I'm the same way. I don't care. You know what I mean? I worry about me. But this guy cared.
Yeah.
And obviously because we were a threat, right? I mean, wow, there's
did you
something
do?
I can make a hot dog at home, but what the hell is this thing? This guy. So people used to smell me from blocks away, and they'd hear the bing, 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 bing. I kind of coined the phrase cheesesteak beats. You know, I was a drummer as a kid, so I kind of coined.
Were you a drummer?
I was a drummer. I played drums. I was
You
in.
still play drums.
Well,
Cheesesteak drums.
just cheesesteak beats. So, but people would like the Pied Piper. People would hear it and smell us. So that was it. I got started. It was crazy. It was crazy. So then business started picking up. People,
I mean, how many cheesesteaks are you talking about a night?
we were doing over 100
So you personally
by myself.
solo?
There was
Yeah.
just me.
So
Just
how are
me.
you? But how are you getting your pars? Like, how did you?
So I rented a
prepare?
commissary kitchen.
Okay.
I did all my prep there. I had, to dry. I followed all the rules that I was supposed to follow.
100
for-
fucking cheesesteaks. That's a lot of.
at a
goddamn
let out. We're
yeah.
talking like within an hour. Within an hour when them bars. During the night, you get little stragglers.
Sure.
It was fun. Like the hang. I had a radio.
When does the bars close in Seattle?
2:00.
Same as
2 o'clock.
California.
Yeah.
2:00.
Yep. So they would the let out. So anyway, that's where. So then from there, I would go to job sites. I'd see where the cranes were because Seattle's booming. They were
Sure.
I would show up at these different job sites, on a Thursday, on a Friday during the day, and then at nighttime go do the club. So I was hustling
Yeah.
nonstop. The hot dog guy ended up reporting me to the health department. They actually put together a team. I'm
way.
friends with the guy now. We became friends. Chris Skilton. Shout out to Chris Skilton from Seattle or King County Health Department.
I love
But
that.
they put
I love
together
that you
a
have
task
You have a
force.
guy in the health department.
They had
It's
they had a task force
yeah.
that were coming
To bring
after
you
me.
down?
That were coming after me. So I had the cops show up.
This is way before the food truck movement.
Way
This is
before,
like
way
guerrilla
before.
style,
This
way
is
before.
guerrilla style. This is
Yeah.
a fact.
Oh,
This
yeah.
was 2008. Look back. It's historical.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not lying.
absolutely. I
So
believe it.
I'd have police showing up. These like undercovers. We got reports that you don't have permits. So I had all these. They didn't know what they were looking at. Sorry guys, if you're listening, but I would flash them here. Just my catering permit
Yeah.
and just papers.
Here.
Everything's right. Okay.
And then you give him a cheesesteak.
Well, then that was it. I started feeding them, and they started.
Absolutely.
They started hanging.
Oh fuck, that's a good cheesesteak.
Again, technically, I'm doing something illegal, but we're in the food business.
we are in the food. We're in
it's
the stomach business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I never feared, prosecution.
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not a smuggler. It was fun.
It's amazing how many doors food can open up if you do it the right way.
So they were starting to close in on me though. Chris was calling. He goes, "We're going to take away your permits. You're not going to be able to operate." Because the thing with King County, they didn't want to pay the guys to come out at night.
Yeah.
Because they'd have
Absolutely
to pay.
not.
So that's
Yeah,
I was
so
kind of
OT.
like, catch me if you can.
Yeah,
but I know you're not coming out 1:00 in the morning. So no, I'm not doing it, Chris. Everything's good. So finally, though, the pressure was really coming on, and he said, "Al, we're going to take away. You won't be able to operate." And I didn't want to go back the whole. I didn't have a job.
You'd gone all in.
I'd gone all in. After a couple.
How long?
So I set up in October, and I went till April of 2009.
Just slanging cheesesteaks.
So I got approached though by a nightclub owner in Belltown. The manager happened. So I got one of the. You get to meet all the industry people.
Absolutely.
And, right. You feed
they
the
see
bouncers.
buzz.
They loved
Nightclub
us.
people aren't stupid.
No.
Like they're all about buzz. That's how you get. That's how you have a
Sean,
popular
they
nightclub.
or they'd come. Yeah, hey Al, we want 6 cheesesteaks. When we get out, or, the bartender. It was getting crazy.
Yeah.
The hot dog guy. How I knew I was doing something right. I look over. People. I didn't sell drinks. They were going over to the hot dog carts with my sandwiches.
Yeah.
And buying drinks from him.
Absolutely.
So it was kind of pissing him off. But he had 3 of them.
Oh, you could say thank you. At least
Well,
you weren't selling drinks.
And that's the thing, But he had 3 carts. The guy was around for 10 years, big shot. He'd come in his Mercedes, and he's just
Mercedes selling hot dogs?
he was there a long time.
Damn.
Very interesting story what happened to this guy, and the run in I had with him was very special. I have to say.
Well, this is barbecue war story, so you
Yeah,
go
no,
ahead and
well,
let us
he
know
opened
how
up a
shit went
barbecue
down.
joint that ended up
Did he really?
That ended up shutting down.
Oh, shit.
So I get approached. This guy, Ted, wants to see you down at. I'm not going to say the club. This nightclub. It was a popular spot. I said okay. I go down and Ted, like I just seen, like, hey, you were at my cart.
Yeah.
this guy Ted was the general manager of this popular nightclub that was going to reopen. The original owner took the club back from this guy that defaulted on it, right? He took it back. So Ted sits me down. He goes, look, I hear what's going on. So-and-so is on your ass, and they don't want you out there. Look, we want to bring you inside. We want to give you the kitchen. What's the catch? Basically, the catch was I had to sell food. I had to put together a full menu. On top of, I could do my cheesesteaks. There was pizzas there. There was a pizza oven. I decided to do pizzas. There was a little side window. If you look at the Yelp video, we go to that side window there.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the show notes, but the Yelp video is really cool. Yelp did a 5-minute feature on you, which
it was
is
great.
badass.
Oh, it was
really
awesome,
cool.
man. They called me out of the blue, and I mean, I was very honored.
Was that before or after the Men's Journal named you as one of the top 10 cheesesteaks not in Philadelphia?
I think that was after. I think that was after.
That's
my
big.
little
That's
girl.
a big national publication.
That was
That
huge.
shit's fucking huge.
That was huge, man.
Yeah.
Like that.
Men's Journal named Gus's Fried Chicken. There was a Gus's Fried Chicken outside of Memphis as like one of the top 10 destinations to go to off the beaten path. They had so much traffic at this little tiny town that they ended up opening up in downtown Memphis. And like, it's just an incredible story from one publication.
Absolutely.
It's just one publication, one writer.
Absolutely.
One journalist, somebody coming into your shop and saying, "Oh fuck, you've got to try this."
And the keto, and you get this too, is the consistency. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on over a 10-year run on this, and Sean, I
Yes.
can tell you right now, my sandwiches are always the same. I've had knuckleheads that have worked for me. They don't last because I don't tolerate it. I can hear. I know that they're not cooking the meat right, or they're not slicing the onions right. I mean, I know how that sandwich is supposed to be. Absolutely. And the only thing I ask, I don't micromanage. This is how I want it. I'm going to pay well. Just make the sandwich. I leave you alone. Yeah. I don't bother you.
Just make the sandwich.
Just make the sandwich how I want it to be made. Yeah. That's it. There's
it's
no
a craft.
cutting corners.
It's a craft. Your menu is basic for a reason.
That's it.
But that's not an insult. That's actually the highest compliment you can get.
100%.
The more that we can take off our menu, the happier I am. The happier my general manager is.
100%.
In and Out has the perfect model.
Well, someone said that about us. They said, you're the in and out of cheese. Someone said it out here to us. You're the in and out of cheesesteaks. I love it. And, for a while, people, of course, and I'm sure you've dealt with, they'll come in, they'll give their opinion. Oh, you need to have salads. And why aren't you selling desserts? And, you got vegetarians out there. No offense to them, but it's not what I do. It's not what I want. It's not my passion.
Well, you learned. I mean, you probably learned from doing that full menu at the
100%.
Right?
Well, and that's
just
the thing.
because you can do it doesn't mean.
Well, my grandparents, really, where I learned
in the beginning, right?
Because when I got into the nightclub, that's what I basically said to myself. I'm doing I don't want to do this. I got vodka rigatonis. I got chicken marcella. I'm doing. I did my grandmother's meatballs, pizzas.
Yeah,
I mean,
you have a full fucking kitchen. Now now you have a bigger order.
There you
list.
go.
You have more inventory. You have more quality issues that can go wrong.
And but the funny thing was, at the end of the night, I would do my reports. The biggest seller in the nightclub, what do you think it was?
Cheesesteaks.
There you go. So here I am inside this club now.
Yeah.
And the way that I'm gonna make my living is by selling food. That's the arrangement we have with the nightclub owner, him and I. He sells the booze, I sell the food, I pay my workers. Anyway, we hit it. Like, people are buzzing because I'm keeping my kitchen open till 2 a.m. Yeah. All the other bars are closing at 10.
Yep.
Their kitchen.
Absolutely.
You can come in at 1:30 and get vodka rigatonis, get chicken marsala. People are buzzing. So
how many people did you have in your kitchen?
It was me, and then I'd have my window guy would come in at 10:30, and my helper would come in at 10:30 because I could just afford. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I did that for almost 2 years. I had Mondays off. I do it from, well, actually Mondays I would do a lunch out my window, but Tuesday to Sunday from 9 a.m. till 4 a.m. I did it for almost 2 years.
Wow.
I was shell shocked.
Yeah.
But I had it. That was a messy middle. With, when you talk about businesses and the starts and, people that become successful, it's not a clear shot.
Fuck no.
It's never a clear shot.
No.
Anyone that says it is a liar.
Absolutely.
So that nightclub for me, because the nightclub owner started getting shady, the food that was getting ordered through the club was supposed to be going to me.
Yeah.
He wasn't breaking me off till the end of the month. And we know how big that is. Mm-hmm. Not having your cash flow, right?
Brutal.
To get your
Brutal
supply.
in restaurants.
So my manager where I lived, my apartment, he calls me up.
You can't wait till the end of the fucking month.
I had a car repossessed.
Yeah.
So this was the moment. So my car's being repossessed, and I called the nightclub owner. He owes me a couple $1,000s. I said, hey, can I get the money? My car's getting repossessed. I talk about this on the Yelp thing. He tells me that I live in the city. I don't need a car. That was his answer.
Really?
That was his answer. I'm working. I'm actually making his club look great because of the food.
Absolutely.
Right? It's a hand in hand.
For sure.
People are coming in too, dude, because of the food.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you sell booze, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone could do that, right? You know, and then bartenders, they were rocking and they were rocking. I mean, I would never get in a bar business ever, never, no way. So anyway, he did that. We did a living social deal. I ended up selling over $12,000 of living social parties. That was my money, right?
Yeah.
This dumb fuck ends up keeping the check. Living Social writes it out to him.
Oh fuck.
He breaks me off only when the parties come in, $70. He kept $12,000.
Jesus.
Here's 70, yeah. So I had my window was my cash flow, and then I was selling little $5 pizzas out on the street. That started picking up. I was doing 100 pizzas on a Friday and Saturday night around the city.
Yeah.
I had delivery guys. Who do you think shuts that down? The hot dog guy.
Oh fuck.
In Seattle, it's called cold handling. So if you're standing on the corner, I can't come up to you and say, "Hey, would you like to buy a pizza?" That's called cold handling. But if you call and say, "Can you bring me a pizza?" then I could sell. But then now this, you know, again, he did it to me.
Yeah.
The hot dog guy did it to me again. Took away, you know. So
income that you actually were
working. It's a pizza. You're selling hot dogs.
Generating for sure.
It goes back to you're selling something that people really don't want, dude. You know, change your idea. Be original. So anyway, I started looking around because I'm going under. I'm like, that's it. I'm thinking I got to go back to a kitchen.
30 days to get fucking paid.
I don't want to go back to a kitchen. I'm swimming in the deep end here. I don't want to go back to that. So luckily, I find an old cheesesteak shop. The guys that had it, they moved to a bigger location. This place had a hood. It had a grill.
How many square feet?
It was, I want to say 1,000 square feet.
Okay. Decent size.
Decent size. In between two nightclubs. It was in Pioneer Square. That's a historical neighborhood.
Like quick service. Come in, order. Were there any tables?
There was table. Oh yeah, I had tables. I had outside.
But you didn't have servers.
No servers.
Yeah.
No servers. But
why not?
Well,
because they're expensive.
You know, but the thing, it was set up. The hood, you know how expensive.
Oh fuck yeah!
I had nothing.
Absolutely.
I had the clothes on my back. I'm getting ready to get thrown out of my apartment.
Yeah.
My landlord was very nice to me. Shout out to Joe. He was very nice to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I find this location, and luckily the guy that was advertising it knew me. He's been to my window, and he talks to his boss. He says, "Al, you got it. You're perfect. I just had to come up with the rent money."
Perfect.
That was it. I told that dude to go fuck himself. I walked out on a Friday night and just well, where's he going? Al, what's going on? Just left.
Yeah.
That was it. I had someone go back, get my sign and all that. And I haven't looked back. I've been on my own ever since.
That's so awesome.
It was great. But that was a messy middle. That nightclub.
Sure.
The streetcar was fun. The cat and mouse, the catch me if you can, was fun. But then being inside and like, okay, this is my livelihood. This is how.
Yeah.
It's not like I was sitting at home.
All in.
I'm all in.
Yeah, I've already gone all in.
I'm not home.
I gotta make my dream work.
100%. You know, it'd be different if I was home playing video games. Yeah, I'll get to work maybe tomorrow. I'll open up maybe tomorrow. I was there every day working like a dog.
You knew it because you knew the grind. You knew that if you weren't doing the work, no one else is going to.
Well, and that was the thing.
No one else is going to promote you. No one else is going to sell
No.
your sandwiches. No one else is going to go pick out the quality bread. No one else is going to go pick out what the meat, the onions, all the things that you need to run your business. No one's going to do that but you.
No, and he didn't care. And I think he underestimated obviously the desire, the passion, you know, that I had. So anyway, shout out to him. He knows who he is. He, if I can just real quick, he eventually got divorced. He lost 4 restaurants. He lost a golf course that he had. Broke busted.
Yeah.
His general manager, who was a jerk, shout out to him. I won't say his name, is now working in a factory.
Yeah.
He used to come by and say, "I'm going to buy this place and I'm going to get rid of you." Well, who does that? You know, like Seriously.
I mean,
Here's the other
there's
thing
fucked up people
to
in
the
every
listeners,
village, for
to the
sure.
people that want to get into business for themselves. Haters motivate. Write that one down. I get goosebumps, but haters motivate. Take their negative energy and just run with it. Because there's nothing that, there's a reason why they're hating, because they're miserable, number one.
Yep.
Right? They got no meaning. There's not, so those nightclub days were absolutely 100% my getting beat down days.
Yeah.
But the one thing that kept me going, the fire, was that dream and desire of hitting my goal. And I was going to hit it. I knew eventually I was going to hit it. Did I have questions like, I'm going to go work in a kitchen? Yes.
Self-doubt.
Of course.
Self-doubt,
of course.
anxiety, depression, like all of it. You're like, am I in the right business? Like, am I going to fucking fail? Like, I grew up and I thought this was what.
Go ahead.
I thought the goosebumps, like I thought I had my aha moment. What the fuck is going on? Why aren't things going right for me? But then you have friends like your buddy at the gym that says, what the fuck are you doing?
Kick me in the ass. Michael.
fuck
God
are you
love
doing?
him. Seriously,
Yeah.
man. Michael. His son, it's funny. His son used to come in years later. He'd come into my Georgetown location. I'd always thank him. He's a big reason. That's the other thing. You want to be surrounded with good people.
Positive people.
Positive people. There's ones that they act like they're your friends.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We would have, there would be like rain and snowstorm, like during the streetcar days.
That happens in Seattle?
Oh, well, we know that. But the one, what do you want to be out there for? It's rain. I used to set up out in the rain.
Yeah.
That was my spot. So like that's what I would tell. This is my spot now. I can't leave.
Yeah.
This is it. If I'm not there on a Friday night, someone else is going to take my spot.
Absolutely.
I don't care if I sell one sandwich or none. I'm going to be there that night.
But you also, the more that you do that, the more you get repeat customers.
Definitely.
That expect to see you on Friday
Definitely.
night. And like, that's the side of hospitality. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It's like, once you have that connection where somebody cares about you, not just because of the cheesesteak, because of who you are, and
Definitely.
you care about who they are.
Definitely.
Like that's incredible.
Absolutely.
It's fucking incredible.
And that's the other thing for the listeners that are starting out in business. You cannot think about the money. You can't. The reward, I'm a firm believer, if you work hard and you stay true and passionate about what you do, the reward will catch up to that.
Yes.
It will. We obviously need money to live and survive. Of course, I got a wife, a little girl. Shout out to my wife, Jen. My little girl, Isabella. I actually met my
How
wife.
old is Isabella?
So Izzy, we call her Izzy. Well, we call her Biddy because she's so
Biddy?
tiny. But she's 3.5. She's a
Okay.
toddler. She's 3.5 going on 13. She's driving us nuts.
She's going
But
on 13.
Going on 13 with the attitude already.
No way.
She's not
I
asking
have a
for the
little
keys
girl
to the
on the
car
way,
yet.
so you're starting to scare me.
Man, listen, Sean, listen. It's this. Is it your first one?
No, I have a boy. So
Okay.
Kaleem's 19 months. And
The-
then,
the little girl?
girl's coming.
The sweetest. Listen, so she's getting her pictures taken today. I was picking out the clothes, like
Yeah.
this floral shirt and.
Your wife lets you pick out the clothes?
Of course.
That's
I mean,
impressive.
but I'm telling you, man, it softens you up. There's just,
Yeah.
it's the sweetest, man. It's just, and daddy's little girl. You're going to find out.
So why would you be running your shop in Seattle? A success. You finally got it. You finally got your store, and you go, I'm going to San Diego.
Well,
Like, who opens their second location in another state?
Well, we had two shops. So we had
So
two shops.
two shops.
But my second shop, I was in the heart of downtown. I was there 4 years. Amazon comes along
Uh-huh.
and buys the world
Yeah.
and kicks
heard
us
about
out.
them.
Right. They kicked us out, which we had a year notice. It was a shitty thing, man. We had a great business there.
Yeah.
During the Super Bowl parade, we were right there. We saw the
Oh,
truck.
rad.
Oh, it was crazy. That was mayhem.
Yeah.
That day we
Amazing.
did over 800 sandwiches that day. It
Oh
was
my
nuts.
God,
Oh, it was
nuts.
bonkers. But we had a great business there. We were there 4 years. They come along, and that was it. They knocked the building down.
Uh-huh.
They kicked all the retailers out. So it was just one of those things. So that kind of. We were looking for another. We're always looking for locations. We're looking for them now, but we obviously wanted to get a second one back up again, right?
Yeah.
So we were looking. I had an aunt that lived in San Diego. My grandmother's sister moved out here before I was born. Then I come along, and it's always a topic of discussion how beautiful. And my grandmother would come out to
People in
visit.
San Diego are a pain in the ass, aren't they?
Well, my grandmother would
We
come
love
out to
talking
visit.
about how great our weather is.
Oh,
We're very spoiled. We're very spoiled.
Oh,
very fortunate.
Without a doubt.
But I mean, that's the best part about it is we're full with people from all over the world. I mean, my grandfather came from Bulgaria. He made it all the way to Los Angeles and came down to San Diego and was like, "Oh my God,
I mean,
this exists."
We don't want too many people to know though.
A lot of people There are a lot more people know about it. That's for sure.
But it was always I had a Padres pennant in my bedroom as a little kid.
No
I had
way,
Dr.
really?
J posters and all this Philly stuff, and so.
Yeah.
But it was
I think
always
that was
a
the
dream.
last pennant we won, but that's besides the point.
It was always a dream. So me and my wife, we got talking about it. We came out here a few times for vacation just to check it out. We made the move. So I actually drove down first. And again, I had those nervous butterflies, just confident in what you do, but the nerves, it's I'm going
But
in.
you knew that you were going to open up a store.
Definitely.
In San Diego.
Oh, definitely.
Like, we're moving for my family, but we're also moving for the business.
Well, for the business.
Because I know that there will be an opportunity
Absolutely.
to do what I love in San Diego.
Absolutely. Even when
I'm confident in my operations.
100%.
I can leave the state. Like leaving the state, I mean, that gives me anxiety.
I was a nervous wreck. Driving down, I was a nervous wreck. Confident. You just said it all. Confident.
Yeah.
But in Seattle, look, it's a no-brainer. I'm established up there.
Yeah.
We open one up. It's going to be. This was uncharted territory.
How many people do you have working up in Seattle?
So we got three. I got a manager and cook and a prep person. We're open Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Awesome. I love those.
So right next to
Nice
Boeing.
hours.
Yeah, it's great. We're in a blue collar neighborhood.
Yep.
250 square feet.
Oh, rad.
Boeing. So one department in Boeing 2 weeks ago, they ordered 270 sandwiches, just one order.
Huh.
And they're going to up it to 500 every month.
Boeing's a good client.
But the consistency, that's it. All those 270 sandwiches were identical.
I love it.
They came back. They got a hold of my manager. We're going to up it to 500. Can you do it? The thing I love about my manager, Evan, shout out to Evan. He's a gamer, man.
Yeah.
He said, make it 1,000. Let's go. I mean, but that's who you want, though. They're the people that you want around you that believe in it. You know what I mean?
100%.
That believe in it.
100%. So you get down here. How do you decide where's your location?
We looked around.
Did you have a broker helping you?
We did have a broker. Josh, I like to say hello to Josh too. We had a broker. We were actually closing in on the waterfront. There's a kiosk, that new brick area.
Yep.
There's a little kiosk there. It's still empty. I think it was a blessing we didn't get it.
Yeah.
When we asked
The one overlooking the Coronado Bridge next to the convention center?
no, there's a taco shop where the star, what is it? The ship.
Star of India.
So it's like right, if you go
Close.
walk in, what is that, south?
Yeah. Where the new Carnita Snack Shack is?
Yep, we're right across the street.
Yeah.
There's a little kiosk there.
Okay.
So the broker we hooked up with saw it. The broker's on the other side. The first thing we noticed, and actually my wife noticed, I don't know if I met my wife in my shop in Seattle. She was a
Really?
customer.
Okay.
She came walking in.
No way.
That was it. I was
So you
cooking on
chased
the
a girl
grill.
to Seattle, but then
We
you
broke
fell in
up.
love- You fell in love
Fell
with
in
the
love.
girl because she loved your cheesesteaks.
My wife Jennifer, who she's a reason for the success. I mean, when I got with her, you got to pay tag. You got to, not that you, there's things you need to do, Al.
Yeah.
We're running a business. You got to
Sure.
keep these books, and you owe this and that. She tightened things up, but she was a customer, and we built a friendship and married
Does
with
she
the
play
kid.
tennis?
She does.
Yeah.
We actually we
All
went
right,
out
mixed
last week.
doubles, there you go.
She's getting there. She's getting back at it. Look, she's a full-time mom.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
props to her for that.
Big time.
You
Big time
know?
props for that.
She does all the poopy diapers, and she's a great girl, man. So I got lucky. We've been together, I don't know, 8 years now. But so when we came out here for vacation, we hooked up with this realtor. He found this spot. He gave us a call. So we hop on a plane. We come back down, but before we came down, we asked the realtor on the other side about the space and if there was any non-competes. There was a deli across the way. She told us, there's no non-competes. Anyway, there was. So we lost out on that one, but it was a blessing.
Yeah.
And then we found the one in PB, and here we are.
So where are you located in PB?
So we're at 1146 Garnett Ave. I think we're like 7 blocks from the beach.
Yep.
It's been great. We're next month is a year. What are we in, March? Yeah, April. April 23rd will be a year
No way.
already. Yeah.
1 year in April 23rd.
1 year.
April 20th.
April 23rd.
April 20th is our anniversary, so we're going to be 11 years on April 20th.
That's amazing, man.
Congratulations to you.
Listen, congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you.
11 years.
Yeah, it's like they're like dog years, so we're like 70. I
Right?
think we've been 70 out here in Spring Valley.
It's amazing, man. I mean, you get to that point, dude. There's no turning back. I mean,
yeah. I mean, we've just like you said, we've learned a lot, and we continue to learn. And I mean, that's one of the things we love about doing this podcast is we get to share stories like yours with people, listeners all over the world. You know, people that they have a dream, whether it's in restaurants, whether it's in a bar, whether it's in barbecue, catering, whatever it might be. You know, something they hear on the podcast might inspire them to get the fuck off their ass.
Just do it,
Stop
man.
listening to the naysayers, to the people that tell them that the
Definitely.
earth is flat. If you have a dream, you know, you have to go after it.
Yeah, it could
What's
be
the worst that can happen? You fail?
Yeah,
At
but
least you fucking tried.
But you're gonna. I failed.
Yeah,
I
you'll
failed.
continue to fail.
You're going, but the I don't look at them as failures though. There's less. It's a lessons learned
Yep,
along the
absolutely.
way, because I wouldn't want to be in the tech business. It's not. It's something I don't. There's no passion.
Yeah.
I could say from my experience, what kept me going through all those, you want to call them failures, obstacles, is that passion. I love making cheesesteaks. I love cooking.
Yes.
I love being in hot kitchens. Okay. So I'm going to continue to do this. Once you get a taste too of seeing, the people enjoying your food and talking about your food, and I put a review on Yelp, and
Yeah.
that right there, that's a reward. That's what pumps you up, right? For me,
For
you know,
sure.
and I'm sure it's
Oh,
done it for you.
absolutely. I mean, it's
All those failures.
to watch families come into the restaurant that they're bringing their kids in to the restaurant because their father or their mother or their
Yes.
grandparents used to bring them in.
Yes.
And they remember that, and like that becomes that no amount of money means anything.
Nope.
It's like that you've become part of their family. You've
Definitely.
invited them into your home, and then your home is now part of their
They're
story.
talking about your barbecue.
Absolutely.
I remember seeing mothers coming in that were pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Getting and then months later they come in with the baby,
Yep.
and now years they're
It's
they're
amazing.
growing up and they're
Yeah.
eating your cheesesteak. It is.
It's amazing.
It really, really is. But it says about the passion again. But passion to the listeners, that you got to let that really ingrain in your mindset. It has to be a part of it. Don't do something just to do it.
Sure.
I need money. Again, we all need money, of course. But for my situation, I was broke, busted. I was getting a car taken away. I didn't jump off though. I stuck with it. I scrambled. What am I going to do? I'm not going to let this guy defeat me. It's not going to happen. What am I going to do about it? The guy, Michael, I don't want to hear it. Just go do it, Al. That guy, I tell you, truthfully, is always in my head.
Yeah.
Whenever even now, there's moments, you know what I mean?
Well, there's people in your lives that are, they become friends, they become more than friends, they become
They
mentors.
don't know.
But you never know what you're going to say, or somebody's going to say something to you that you'll remember for the rest of your
Who's
life.
going to come walking into your
Absolutely.
life? And I mentioned my wife Jennifer. I'm just so thankful and grateful that had I not set up on that street cart, okay, my life would be so different right now. The best things in my life are my wife and my little girl.
Yeah.
I get a little, but it's because of that cheesesteak. Had I let that guy, the street cart was fun.
Yeah.
That was a catch me if you can. I wasn't stopping. The
Well,
nightclub,
Leo DiCaprio.
because I
cheesesteaks.
because I still had, I was working at Whole Foods for a little
Yeah.
bit, and I was able
Oh,
to
yeah,
control my
absolutely.
money, right?
For sure.
But when I got into a nightclub,
Yeah.
that guy was controlling my money. He was
Correct.
suffocating me.
Yeah.
Had I walked away,
You couldn't do what you wanted to do.
I couldn't do what I wanted to do. Had I walked away, I would not have the two,
Best things in your
best things in my life, the absolute best things in my life.
Yep.
And that's it. And I said in my Yelp thing at the end, this is my motivation now.
Yeah.
And I showed a picture of my wife and my little girl who was just born, when we did, she was a couple months old.
Amazing.
But that's it. So at this point, after what I've been through, the fire, it may be cliche, but everything else is easy now. Dealing with, knucklehead employees, or,
Sure.
you get, haters.
Whatever.
It's all good now.
Yeah.
It's all good now.
Yeah.
Here I am. I'm talking to you.
Absolutely.
Look, I met you. How long ago?
Yeah,
You
we
came
met
in.
a couple months ago. Couldn't have been.
And here we are. You invited me
are.
on your show.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's awesome, man.
It's
we
so
got a
cool.
friendship.
We have friendship forever. Now.
And the thing is too, so
Absolutely.
with food, it always brings people together.
Always.
It might sound corny, but the way the world is, if people sat down at a table and just ate, you know what I mean, sit around and just talk and debate, things might be handled better.
And like that's the best thing about food is that there's so many opportunities for it. You know, like slow food, which we do barbecue, or if you're doing cheesesteaks, no matter what you're doing, where you're doing it, events, nightclubs. I mean, think about all the different times that you spend with friends and family and the times that you cherish. Typically, it's over food and drink, right?
Of course.
Typically.
We're talking about food now, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
it's what brought us all together. Larry.
Oh, Larry. Well, we're gonna play tennis now. You, me, and Larry.
We
It's gonna
have to.
happen.
Listen, we
That's
have to,
definitely
man.
happening.
So I'm a member over at Balboa Tennis Club. I mean, you
Okay.
probably know Larry
I
plays
grew
there.
up playing there. Yeah.
It's great, and a bunch of the guys that you meet there.
Yeah.
It's just been great.
That's sports, food, drinks.
Everything.
That's how it goes down.
It's wonderful, man.
So
I love it.
you guys are doing a charity event for National Cheesesteak Day.
That's right. So how that became about, I got called out by a competitor. I'm not going to say who, but there was some debate online, and I never get caught up in any of that stuff. I never do. But when I check my social media, there was so-and-so mentioned you, and I go on, and there's this debate going on. This guy claims he's got the best cheesesteaks in San Diego, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But then someone says, well, what about Calozzi's? And then he says, well, let's have a taste off and we'll see. And So the first person I ask, of course, is my wife, because she's my meter. So Jen, do I answer back?
How do I answer?
How do I answer back? What do I do? Because I've gone through this where people try to call me and I just ignore it. She said, yeah, go ahead. Answer them back. So I answer them back. I put in this cool clapback on my Instagram with this great picture of our cheesesteak. And I mentioned him, challenge us. And I said, we accept. And there's this beautiful picture of my sandwich in all its glory. So it starts, going. So I end up hooking up with Edwin Reel, who is the admin for Eating and Drinking San Diego.
Absolutely.
I'd like to give a shout out to Edwin.
Yeah, Edwin does great work.
Yeah, Edwin's
he's
a
gotten
man.
A bunch of the barbecue pit masters.
Oh,
we've
yeah.
had on the show
No,
all
he-
together
yeah, he's a
over
man.
Andy's place.
Henry Wade, shout out to Henry Wade. He does San Diegoville.
Yep.
So I reach out to these guys and I have this idea.
Well, it's important for listeners to know is like you have to understand that we live in an information age, and if someone's talking about your business or someone's talking about your brand, whether it's positive or negative, if you're not proactive in responding to both,
Yep.
you won't ever put yourself in an opportunity that could be beneficial for a charity, which is what you're doing.
Absolutely. And that's a good point too. There's some friends that are in the industry too, and they're trying to drum up more business. But I look at them and we talk. They're not proactive.
Yes.
They think it's going to come to them like the old days where you put an ad in the paper, you put a banner up. What you have here in your pocket, this phone, right? I mean, this is it, and it's free though. That's Facebook, Instagram,
Yelp, Google.
Yelp. It's free. Again, I met you.
Twitter, all of it.
You came in, but we met because
Yeah,
it is.
because
You
of
looked
that.
at
Yelp,
because
absolutely.
it is.
Looked at
It's free.
Yelp, and we came to your store, and now we're sitting here podcasting.
What a lot of people too, I think they don't have the courage. They could be introvert. To put things out. If you look at my Instagram, I have fun. I put up quirky stuff. My T-shirt, the Michael Jordan of cheesesteaks. But I tell you how I got
I love that.
Tiger Woods was playing in a golf tournament, and one of the commentators said,
read that. That's fantastic.
I'm going to definitely give you one. One of the commentators said Tiger Woods is a Michael Jordan of golf.
Yeah.
You always hear that. He's the Michael Jordan of it. I said, I'm putting on a T-shirt.
That's rad.
I got people in Brussels, Germany, Italy, through
Rad.
social media
Yep.
that I'm sending these shirts out
Amazing.
to. Ireland. I
Yep.
have a lot of friends in Ireland. So what I'm getting at, people just, for the listeners out there, the business owners, the ones that are scared to take that first step with social media, take it. Have fun with it. Be
Absolutely.
yourself.
Absolutely.
Outside the box thinkers are going to rule the world. That's how I feel. Steve Jobs is one of my mentors. I like the way he conducted himself.
For sure.
His marketing.
For sure.
People may not agree with maybe how he was in house, but you look at those guys.
Think
Richard
differently.
Richard Branson's, the Steve Jobs. You know, they took a chance, and they all had messy middles.
Yeah.
Jobs got kicked out of his company. He got thrown out of the company that he started.
I know, crazy.
They threw him out.
Yeah.
But look what happened. The tides turned.
Yep.
He went back. The rest is history.
Yep.
Let's go back to this. The phone.
Absolutely. What you said is people, it's so easy to become self-conscious about what you're going to put on Instagram or what you're going to tweet or what you're going to put on Facebook.
Yep.
It's like ultimately you are who you are.
Definitely.
Embrace that.
Definitely.
And don't expect it to be perfect. Like you're not fucking
Yep.
Picasso. You're not
Yep.
Michelangelo.
Nope.
Don't worry about it.
Some people are
Just
going to
be
laugh.
who you are.
Just do it.
I mean, my general manager, he sent me a video yesterday of him and my other manager, Victor. They're both in the keg room doing inventory, and they make some stupid rap song about, you know, them doing inventory.
Right.
But we put it on Instagram. Like, fuck it. Why not? Like,
it's
that's
fun.
what Instagram's for.
Who cares?
Like, who cares?
Who cares?
And all of our staff, they love it because they see our general manager in a way that he never acts like that. Like, he acts like that behind closed doors because that's who he is.
But were people
like,
talking about it?
Absolutely.
There,
We're talking about it.
that's
That's all that matters.
That's it.
Right?
Now, of course, there's definitely, you know, for me, I don't cross boundaries, and you know what I mean, like with, you know, off base
for
stuff.
sure.
Of course, never. Just be yourself. Have
sure.
fun. Promote your product, and however you think. You want to do a rap. You want to, you know, wear a silly hat. Whatever it is, you want to stand on your head.
Do whatever you feel right.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
what my staff up in Seattle. You know, there's just, obviously there's guidelines and rules that you know you don't cross.
Sure.
But have fun doing it. You know.
Absolutely.
So
March 24th, National Cheesesteak Day.
National Cheesesteak Day.
Where's the competition taking
So the
place?
competition is going to be at Revel.
Okay.
In Gaslamp. We're going to be cooking for the Special Olympics San Diego region.
Okay.
So the way that the rules are. So when I got with Edwin and
How many
Henry,
cheesesteak places? 2?
No. So there's gonna. I think right now there's us, of course. There's Gaglione's, who I got to meet. Joe Gaglione,
Yeah.
really nice guy.
Yeah,
I did a
great things.
Really, really, really nice guy.
Heard really
Me and
great
him.
things from Ernie Hahn.
Yeah, we did a podcast. I think it was last week with Jack Monaco. Shout out to Jack and Michael Gardner. I think I'm pronouncing Michael's last name. But yeah, Joe's a great guy. So Joe's getting involved. I'm gonna probably Georgina's or Georgino's.
Yep.
What's the other place? Something bar. I can't think of. She just took on some partners. Small bar.
Yep.
I believe Small Bar's involved, and so the person who started who called me out declined. He's not going to take part. And
Come on,
and Henry,
get fucking serious.
dead serious. And Henry, again, I'm not going to talk shit. It's not even talking shit. Here's the thing with this person. I just feel like he's an internet bully. He's a bully that.
Well, good for you for stepping
That got
up.
punched in the mouth and
Good
then
for you
didn't
for
want to
stepping up.
fight. So
Absolutely.
took his neck because it was. I feel it was going to be a chest beating contest.
Sure.
When I got with Henry and Edwin, I said let's make it a charity event. So what's going to happen? The winner, it's a win-win. Truthfully, if you win, I win.
It's
whatever.
the best.
Someone's charities get money. So at the end of the day, we're going to get people to come to this event. They're going to buy a ticket. Everyone's going to sample all the cheesesteaks.
Yep.
There's going to be prizes. I think they're gonna do, and there's gonna be a public vote, and then we're gonna have a panel.
Cool.
So the winner of the event, you win.
Yeah.
You're playing for whatever charity. You're gonna take that money and you're gonna go give it to your charity.
That's awesome.
That's it. And the exposure for the event. We want to make this an annual thing. So we took something that could have been nasty, which I never buy into, and I never will. We're making it into something very, very good, and I'm excited. I'm very excited, and you know it's going to be a fun competition. But yeah, I want to win for my charity, just like Joe's going to want to win for his.
100%.
You'd want to win for yours, but at the end of the day, someone's going to be very lucky and give their charity a nice check.
Very cool. So for the 1 year anniversary, you're gonna do something cool. You know, let us know about
Yeah,
it. So we can
we'll
tell our
definitely. Oh
listeners.
yeah, we'll definitely.
All right.
I usually do a lot of my thinking in the shower. It's the weirdest thing, man. I swear it's the weirdest thing. And my wife, God love her, I'll come popping out still
Yeah, I got a
wet
good
with a
idea.
hey, I got this idea. I want to do it in slow motion, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. And she'll just look. Okay.
That's awesome.
But she's great. She's great.
Once we find out what the 1 year anniversary is, we'll put that on our social media on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, so people we can do a behind the smoke meetup. Go grab some cheesesteaks down in PB. That would be rad.
Yeah.
Al, thank you very much. We do have a social shout out this week. It's going to Ivan Morin at Ivan Morin 11. Ivan's been listening to the podcast. He stopped by Cali on Sunday. He sent us a tweet. He just set up a Twitter account, which if you listen to the podcast for long enough, you know that I'm huge on Twitter. He set up an account. I told him to ask for a manager. We hooked him up with a hat, and now he's tweeting all kinds of cool videos about barbecue, drinking beer, and flying planes. So shout out to Ivan Morin. He's a social shout out winner. We're going to give him one of these behind the smoke mugs. We're getting close to 100 episodes.
Wow.
100 episodes behind the smoke. So thank you, Brian. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, our team. Once again, Beto, you're in our hearts. Derek will be back for the next episode next week. And we appreciate your time, Al. We're going to go get some cheesesteaks and keep this party going, my man.
Well, listen, I want to thank you guys too for having me. Very honored. So it's a lot of fun. Definitely want to have you in. Lunch on me.
Yeah, if you listen to the podcast, be sure to stop in Pacific Beach and let them know you heard him on Behind the Smoke and say what's up.